If I'm not a chaos goblin, I don't know what is. He's my partner in crime this weekend.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, but yes, chaos goblin in full effect. We got the concrete, the pavers, the 2x4. There's 2 of them in there somewhere. And lots of pickets. And then, of course, a bucket full of screws, bolts. And I'm fairly certain in there is probably a hardware for the gate. So, you know, chaos. It is very real, and I'm here for it. Am I here for the weather? No, but you know, sometimes you can't always craft. Sometimes you actually have to. Oh, okay, it's raining again. What the actual hell? I gotta go get a tent out. Okay, talk to you a little bit. Take 2. Hi, welcome back to the Palace of Yarn and Thread YouTube channel. My name is Amanda. I am your local maker of all things carnal designs-esque, and I'm coming to you from Tulsa, where it is starting to warm up. Yeah, the heat is here. Not quite. It's like the oven preheating, if you will. So, it's been a while since we've had a time to sit down and chat. I have a few things for you. I can't say I've been super productive. We'll get into that. There will be a time where I'm going to insert a video about my growing journey of different things, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so just a few things to get out of the way. If you are new here, welcome. I am an avid crocheter or crafter in general, an avid crafter that is always doing something. I'm always working on something. But if that's your jam and you like all things cross-stitch, crochet, knitting, spinning, growing, gardening, whatever you want to call it, sorry, weird angles for microphone placements, then this is the channel for you. It gets a little chaotic, and I'm unashamed of it. Yeah, I embrace it because this is life. But if you're new, please consider subscribing, liking this video, commenting, giving a little love, but keep it kind because I'm not here for negativity at all. If you are returning, thank you for taking time out of your life to spend a little chaotic time with me. Maybe it helps to decompress. Maybe it's just good listening, and maybe I'm just insane. I don't know. But thank you for returning. Okay, that being said, we're going to do the normal. I'm going to go through my finished objects, half-finished objects, because your girl's got some. Well, one. There's a little shame in this episode. I'm not above saying it. There's a little shame in this episode. We'll discuss that in a minute. Some works in progress. As I mentioned, some growing progress. We're going to go to the garden and take a look. And an acquisition. And maybe a little bit of a rant. Because I'm in a mood. Here we are. First off, I don't have a lot of finished objects, but I do have one. Isn't it cute? This is an order I got from a customer last week from the farmer's market, and she wanted a bee, but smaller. So, a bee, but smaller. Nothing to report, just a bee. Finished object. I have been working on different things for the farmer's market, so I have completed like a little washcloth or 2 little washcloths. I've had a whole bunch of hacky sacks because let's just put this out there. The hacky sack craze has come back around. Every about 2 to 3 years, the hacky sack craze reignites. And I'm not complaining because my hacky sacks sell. But that means I have to keep making hacky sacks. And I actually have a bag over here with about 4 or 5 hacky sacks that I need to finish, and then take to the Wandering Magpie to replenish them because I sold like 7 or 8. Yeah, 7 or 8, maybe more this last month. So I'm not mad. Let's get into some of the shame. The shame, which is a half-finished object. Why is a half-finished object shameful? I'm sorry, that was loud. Because I've been working on it since February, and it's a pair of freaking socks. So here's the half finish. It's a sock. Yay, it's a sock. So this is the crunkled pattern. The yarn I'm working with is from Dragon Hoard Yarns in the colorway Shawl. Should I get the wing leader? So that's what I'm working on. That's the finished one. Now we enter whips. And I am pleased to report I have finally started the second sock. I'm literally getting ready to do the heel flap. So I have the start of a second sock. I promise, guys, I'm not. This is not travel knitting because of the pattern. I can't. I mean, I know what the pattern is, but I'm to a spot in the knitting now where I have to keep more track of it because some of it's flat panel, some of it's the pattern, and it's just. I'm started a second sock. So that's my half finished object and my work in progress of one of like 3-ish. And kind of my shame because I've been working on them since February. It is a easy pattern. It is a nice to knit pattern, but it's not a travel pattern. So, all right, now we're gonna go into another work in progress. This one's kind of exciting because it is one of my hand spun yarns are included in it. So I am working on the Creativity Shawl. I'll post a picture of what it should look like. And this is where I am. So not a whole heap of progress on here, but again, this is not a travel pattern for me because I can't remember the repeats to save my life. I do have it in Knit Companion. I do keep a track of it in Knit Companion, so I know where I am. But it is not something I can just mindlessly work on. Not even a little bit. Maybe for some people they could, but I'm not that person. I am not the droid you're looking for on that one. But it's a pretty, but this is my hand knit, or my hand spun yarn, the purple color is. The gray is just a, I have all the details. So this is the Creativity Shawl. Yeah. The, the next whip. The next whip that I have is the Patrick Blouse. This project and I have been going round and round because I have had to restart it 4 times now. For the simple fact that it keeps twisting on me. I have finally gotten to a place that it's not twisting. So the 4th time is the charm. I tend to say that the yarn is cursed. And it's because the yarn I am using was a yarn that I purchased for a pattern for Who Is Now an X. I was making a hoodie, and then I got almost all the way done with it. The body was done, and things ended. So did the sweater, and I had to rip it all back. It was 2 different colorways. This one is the colorway Chivalry. I want to say it's from Bad Sheep Yarns. If it's not, I'll correct myself here. It's a beautiful color, and I have finally gotten some decent progress on it after having had to start it 4 times. And I wish I was exaggerating that. 4 times, guys. Lock this stitch marker in real quick because I will lose it and I will cry. Okay, let's move the needles in a little bit. All right, so this is a top down. So top down off the shoulder number, but this is where I am right now. And it is trying to do all the things that I don't want it to do. So it's hard to see it. But isn't that a pretty color? And I think it might be good for my color. Like, I don't know my colors for my skin tone. I just kind of wing it. If this turns out nice, I have a different color, different one I can make as well. But this one, 4th time, guys. 4th. I almost put it into timeout, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not letting it win. I'm not putting that yarn into timeout. It's already lived in timeout for a few months at the beginning of this year, as it is. So I'm not going to do it again. So yeah, finally, and I've even had to have my mom come in there and check to make sure that it was not, in fact, twisted. So just know, if you decide to do the Patrick Blouse, which is a beautiful pattern, make sure you pay very, very close attention to it twisting when you go into the round. And honestly, I think when it was doing it is when I was doing the German short rows. But I could be wrong. Because, yeah, I think I'm wrong. But whatever. So, that's my other work in progress. I have not done any more work on the scrap blanket, just at all. It's still living in the craft room. It is what it is. I did do a live tonight on Facebook. So once a month, at the first Friday of every month, I do a live on Facebook. It's Craft Night with Amanda. And I do a different type of craft. And like last month, I think I knitted or I spun, one or the other. This month I woodburned. So I was working on a cutting board for an order that I got. And then ended up I need to go buy a new tip for it tomorrow. So, oh well. I have gotten back into my cross stitch and I've leveled up my setup for my cross stitch. So I don't know I've ever spoken about my setup and how I kit up things. I am a monogamous cross stitcher. So I might have several knitting projects and several crochet projects, but I'm a monogamous knitter or cross stitcher because of how I kit things up. And I had been working in a hoop with just a grime guard on it, steering wheel cover, whatever. But the project itself is so large that wasn't working for me anymore, and I needed something where I could control it a little bit better. And I have a scroll frame, but it wasn't big enough, surprisingly enough. And so that's actually been listed on Facebook Marketplace. So if you're interested, it's a $48 scroll frame, wood scroll frame that I'm selling for like $28. Pitch girl up. So I actually got an aluminum frame. It's not the painted fairy one. It's a knockoff, but good enough for me. And I actually got a secondary stand for it that just kind of clips onto my table here. Works perfect for me. I'm not complaining. Not like it's gonna do me any good to complain. But this is one of the stand legs. It just hooks onto the table itself. Put this down without making too much noise. Okay, I did. I grabbed the other one because it's leaning up against the cross stitch right now. Okay, so that one made a little noise. See if I can hold this up without causing chaos. The sucker's not small. Told you she's not small. This is 211,000 stitch pattern that I'm working on. I am 56% done. So the last time I checked in on this one, I was 54% done. So I'm at 56. And you can't really tell there's been much changed in 2%. Because that's a lot of stitches. But I like my new frame. I did have to get some side clips for tension on the sides, but otherwise this sucker's got some tension. The piece that I'm working on is just a picture that I put into Pick to Pat, and it says hexing because murder is wrong. And for Facebook purposes, or for YouTube purposes, yes, I will, try to bleep that out. Hexing because is wrong. Whatever. I don't know all the shenanigans that YouTube does. I haven't been on here long enough as a tuber. Okay. So that is all my whips, all my half finished objects, all my finished objects that I can think of. Let's get into acquisitions. I do have yarn because your girl always needs some yarn. This is from Fangirl Fibers, and this is from her exploration of the Galaxy collection, which she released on May the 4th. If you know, you know. And this is called The Dark Side. Look at that. Details. I don't know if you can read it, because I don't know if it's anything, right? I am not a cinematographer, nor a professional YouTuber, so, here we are. But isn't that pretty? I don't own any red socks, and I wanted a red pair of socks. So you can get the light side or the dark side. Anybody that knows me knows me. So this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, fingering weight. The red is a 400 yard, 100 gram. The black is 80 yard, 20 grams. So this is going to end up being a vanilla sock with heel-toed cuff and then the main sock. It's going to be easy peasy, beautiful. I cannot wait. But I got to finish those crunkled socks first. Those crunkled socks. I did try on my crunkle sock. And as you just heard, sock. It's great. Different heel, different toe clothes. It's great though. I was not mad at that. It is what it is. But I got to finish those before I can do anything new. And I have a lot of socks I want to make. I have a lot of beautiful yarns in there. Yes, I have a stash. And no, I'm not embarrassed about them. I love my stash. It brings me joy and a little anxiety. Not gonna lie. Okay, well, that's those pieces. I do have kind of a fun announcement that my business. So in Oklahoma, we have a program called Made in Oklahoma. It is kind of like a certification of being a handmade, all products made in Oklahoma kind of, trophy, if you will. And I was finally recognized as Made in Oklahoma, and I got all the badges and all the things, and so I'm really happy about that. My small business does not have a lot of sales. If I do have sales, it's mostly at the Wandering Magpie in Owasso or when I'm at the farmer's market. I don't really ever see any like online sales, which that would be cool if I did. But just to be recognized as valid is a good feeling. It's nice. So that gives me a little warmth in my heart, Took forever to get approved, but okay, cool. I'm approved. So here we are. On the farmers market side of things, we are officially up and running for Snap, and I couldn't be happier. Yes, it's slow uptake. We've only had one person use it. I'm okay with that because word still needs to spread. It is slowly getting out there. We have a lot of people, different organizations helping to spread that information. But the Owasso Farmer and Artisan Market does now accept Snap. If you don't know what Snap is, it's food stamps. But being able to offer that helps us to bring down the food desert and make healthier choice foods more accessible to the community. And I love that. So it's been a little bit since I've talked about some of the things that I grow. I have mentioned in the past that I grow hydroponically. So let's show you the hydroponic setup a little bit more. There's some weird things happening, but it is what it is. So let me flip you around and show you. First, I have to show you Loki. Hi, Loki. He has to make his appearance. So this is my grow rack. Looks like a jungle. Got my succulents in here too. There's reasons. It is what it is. But down here is my arrow garden. It's the sprout. It's the first one that I actually got. Currently, it is got one plant in it, and it's a tomato plant. I think it's aroma, to be honest. Very, very sparse when it gives me fruit, so it is what it is. I mean, if it doesn't give me anything else, I'll be fine with that. Back here is my in bloom. This is one of 3 in blooms. This is the larger one, and as you can see, I'm not using it to its full capacity. I have other things in there. They never sprouted. However, this one plant right there goes all the way up. It's up here. And as you can tell, there's some beautiful peppers on it. See? These are Sugar Rush peach peppers, and as you can tell, some of them are going peach, so it's almost time for them to come off. It's been months. I am talking since December. December, guys, of 2025. It is what it is. So while we're looking up here, this is another in bloom, and it's got 2 pepper plants. It does currently have a second blush of some bell peppers. This one looks like it wants to try to give me some, but I also think something's wrong with that plant, so I haven't taken it out because they do tangle, the roots tangle, and it's easier just to leave them be. And if I have to call them, I will. Until then, no. This is my I do, and I have 3 things in here. One, it's really hard to get to. One is not doing so much. This one never popped at all, that I can tell. It's really hard to see. Yeah, nothing's in there. But I do have that. But here's the funny part. I don't remember what that is. Yeah, anyway. Moving along, we have another in bloom back here. It has one plant as well, and as you can see, it looks a little rough. I thought maybe it was just some plant that just did not want to do anything. Come to find out, it's a Tabasco plant or a cayenne pepper plant. So I have some cayenne peppers coming. Will I use them? Probably not. But I don't know. I think that one's maybe been there too long. I know nothing about cayenne peppers. Do I even want to know anything about cayenne peppers? No. I don't even think that's what I originally thought I planted. So here we are. These are my propagated succulents. It looks like a little forest. There's another one of my succulents. This is actually the first succulent I ever had. It was like this big when I got it from a witchy subscription box, and now it is climbing. I don't know that succulents are supposed to do that. Here we are. More propagated. And then this one is reaching for the sky as well. Again, not sure that it's supposed to. It's in a huge pot because it was trying to bust out of the other one. I do have one more, and as you can see, it is taking over as well. Ignore all of the falling leaves from the pepper plant, but yeah. So that's that. Now we're going to go outside and take a look and see what's growing on the outside in soil. Because your girl has to be a thorough person. Ignore how my backyard currently looks. It is a work in progress right now, but when I first come out, I have I think this is a cucumber plant. It's doing weird things. It's given me 1 so far. I had to manually do that one. I might have to see if I can find a male flower for that female flower, because otherwise I'm just going to get 1. I have to keep this one over here. Oh, real quick. Let's show you what's going on over here. There's a bunny in the backyard. Apparently it was just in the fire pit because Loki is sniffing it out. But it took off over there. And I am a horrible cinematographer. It is what it is, guys. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So I keep this over here because I have found that cucumber plants specifically don't like a lot of light, but I can't just leave it with the rest of the plants because squirrels. It's a whole squirrel problem. So I do move this over to be watered, but then I had to pull it back. This is my gorgeous fire pit. My rack of wood that I need to cut down a little bit. That bunny is just brave. Loki's over there doing his business, and that bunny has moved over there now. Bunnies have no fear, apparently. So, size this back down. All right. You're a bunny. That's so silly. Loki's just off in his own little world, sniffing where the bunny was. Like, come on. Loki, it's right there. There he is. Nope. And he got distracted again. And the bunny's out running across the street. Okay, anyway. So this was a lime tree. It didn't survive. So it is what it is. I'm moving on from that one. We're not here to discuss that. Now here is my unique way of combating the squirrels. I had a lot of different carrots in here. Now I have 2. But this one's got a really thick base, so I'm hoping to at least get 2 good carrots. Over here I have some strawberries that are just taking their ever-loving sweet time. Keeping in mind that I planted these... Whew, that was a spider. No thank you. Planted these. I have the date on the other side of here. Let's see if I can find it. No, I don't. What are you rolling in? Hey, no. No. Pardon me. Anyway, I have 2 things of strawberries, but they're not doing much. But I have a basil set right here that's doing basil things, and it smells delicious, so I'm not complaining. Over here is supposed to be white sage, but it doesn't look like white sage. I don't know. And then, of course, I've got a bell pepper doing bell pepper things, and it's taking its sweet time too, but it's nice and humid and muggy, and yeah. But over here is the piece de résistance in my backyard garden, and that is my cosmos. And as you can see, there is this like trellis thing because, again, squirrels. I do have a few different things planted in here, but I'm not sure what they are. I just planted flowers, and I think I've got some grass growing and maybe a couple trees. Not my problem right now. The funny thing is this has got, I don't know if you can see it, that little thing right there is a fairy garden light. But since there's so many flowers in here, it can't get the solar, so it's just black. But this goes solar, so that's fine. But look at all pretty flowers. And this is just a regular whiskey barrel. It's a 2.7 gallon whiskey barrel, looks like. I'm reading upside down, so, you know, good for me. And then just this mesh cage that I installed around it. Pardon me. But yeah, that's kind of what I've got growing here. I love it. I do have some cosmos in the front yard doing cosmos things, but not as much, not as spectacularly, because I mean, that's just so pretty. I walk out and I see that. It's just, they're pretty. I wish they weren't all orange and yellow, but I know nothing about cosmos, so yeah. Anyway, rowing update for things that I've got going on. I guess I could take you into the front and show you a few, the ones in the front yard. Those are all flowers, and it's more cosmos, just to be very honest. But I have one particular plant out there that did a little different. So let's go take a look. Gotta get through the security. Ah, light. Ah, so pretty. Yes, I'm weird. Moving on. I do have to shut the door kind of behind me because otherwise Loki will try to get out and bark and, you know, attack other things. And he's very protective of his mom. So I have 4 barrels out here. And as you can see, they have cosmos in each one. And some weeds. I need to weed it. But this right here is the fun one. Because this is actually a volunteer from a annual, from an annual I had last year. It decided it wanted to be a perennial. It's already done its blooming and whatnot, and I've been topping it. But yeah, I was very shocked when I saw this pop up. It was quite interesting. I had planted, see, here's what I'm dealing with. Squirrels. Just squirrels. Thankfully, they're not attacking all of them as much. I don't know a whole lot about flowers and like with leaves and stuff. I know this is probably just weed. I don't know what that is though, because it doesn't have the same leaves. But I don't care. Look at the cosmos. I love it. So it is what it is. I got a yellow one. That one's a pretty yellow one. A little different from the rest. So some of these actually last year, actually it's not some of these, all of these cosmos, I had planted them in the front here and they took off. They did all the, and what ended up happening is when they went to seed, I went and just got all the seeds. And that's what these are. They're seeds from last year blooming. So I did homesteading things and saved my own seeds. Whatever. Anyway. All right. Well, that is the growing update. And I hope this has been fun and enjoyable for you. Sorry, the lighting just really changed. But yeah. All right. There's that update. So sometimes you just have to get a really big project going. And what better way to do it than on a rainy Memorial Day weekend? So we're one of the things that I've been kind of needing to get done is building or repairing my gate at my house. And so that's what we're going to do today. Well, my nephew is. Yeah. I'll turn you around and let you see the carnage that's happening, and mind the mud because it's raining. Like, this thing has seen better days. It's getting ready to get a facelift. And then we're going to put some pavers down because this is nothing but mud, and I'm sick of the mud. I try not to go over here because of the mud. So more to come. Stay tuned, if you will. Look how smooth that is. Oh my god, he did such a good job. Satisfying click. Life. I finished the first Lord's book, the ritual. I am starting the Sinner. I don't like the guy's voice so far, so we'll see how far I get into it. I didn't mind Riot's voice. He had a little bit of a growl to it. It was nice. I don't know if I like Sin's voice or not, so we'll see. I'm currently watching Game of Thrones. Have I seen it? Yes. Have I watched the entire thing? No. Have I finished Vampire Diaries? Absolutely not. Have I finished Supernatural? Absolutely not. Do I know what happens in Supernatural? Yes. Here we are. I'm still getting caught up on the Testaments. Like, it's okay, but it doesn't draw you in like The Handmaid's Tale did, but I kind of get where they're going with it. You get a little bit more backstory on some people. But yeah. I am going to be going to Chicago for vacation this month, which is going to be cool. There's a purpose behind it. My oldest nephew, Scotch, will be graduating from Navy boot camp. And so we're going to go up there and see his graduation. And I'm very excited about that. My mom's birthday is also that same week. So we're going to, have a little bit of fun and then drive back. So, a little vacation. And then come back and, resume normal life, work, market, same things. I am going to be starting to look for a new job. Rocklahoma's coming up in September. We'll discuss all these things when we get closer to it. But as it is for now, we have gone over my finished objects, my half finished objects, slash works in progress, acquisition, what I'm listening to, slash reading. I've given you a tour of the garden and life plans. So I think I've done enough rambling. I have a lot of editing to do now. Bring on the editor. And I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go find some food. I hope that you have a great day, night, weekend, weekday, whatever it is when you're watching this. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps me grow. It helps me know what you are interested in. Tell me what you're currently working on. What's your favorite project that you're working on right now? Do you have a favorite pattern that you'd like to recommend? I don't necessarily go for the same patterns everybody else in the world goes for because, you've seen one, you've seen like 90. But I hope that you have a great one. Keep it creative, keep it chaotic, but keep it kind.